Listen, we all love detailed panels. There's nothing more mesmerizing than looking at pictures that kind of leave you wondering, how long did this take exactly? However, there's one aspect of manga you'll seldom see hype over. You won't exactly see it in the trending tab, and that is the flow to the very pages themselves. Or to be more specific, panel composition. Yes, it might not sound exciting, but it is the glue, the backbone of what makes manga easy and thus fun to read. And there are two series that nail it on the head, and that is Dragon Ball and Hunter x Hunter. Now let's first take a look at Dragon Ball and one of the all-time classic fights, Goku vs Vegeta, also the best arc by the way. Honestly, there are a million places we could start, but let's do it first with these two pages. Your eye comes across this panel first, then around here. The motion lines also help as a visual guide, then to the third one, then fourth, with the explosion of ki from the Kaioken acting as a nice visual pull, since it's the largest object here, and sits around the center. Goku's placement is also perfect as your eye goes to the left. It flows nicely into the next page to Vegeta as he chucks an attack. Then you come down here as Goku dashes away to the left and then flows right into the big hit. It's smooth and clear. And most of all, author and artist Akira Toriyama's skill in composition is there right from the series' early days. Flicking right back to Mercenary Tao, this section is filled with energy. As Tao comes in with the kick, you're directed down here. Even his body is on an angle that assists with the flow and generally makes the whole thing just that bit more dynamic. You come across to Tao as he leaps off the ground, then to the next page he hits Goku, and through as Goku rebounds to when he likewise returns a hit. This illusion of movement through composition, and simply taking your eye on a journey in a sense, is a feature you can see in the work of many professional artists, whether painters or illustrators, and has been used for centuries, so it isn't certainly limited to manga by any means. Of course, I'm not the first person to point this out about Toriyama's work either. Inoue himself, yes, that Inoue behind Slam Dunk and Vagabond, described Toriyama's work as, quote, a veritable textbook when it comes to panel layout. Also going on to mention there's clarity to the panel order, and his work is simply easy to read. Toriyama also makes note himself that his thought process was to make panels that would attract the reader's eyes when they open the pages, and he obviously does this exceptionally well. There are so many times when making videos I'll grab a volume off my shelf just to double check something, and next thing I know I have morphed into the manga and become one because it's just simply easy to read. And Hunter x Hunter isn't all that different. Tagashi definitely is similar in his sense to a more minimalist approach to art. There isn't exactly 20 million layers of screen tone everywhere, but that certainly doesn't mean he can't be detailed when he needs to be either. It certainly isn't uncommon to see him add more of it to emphasize a particular moment, but besides that, his work definitely can carry a strong sense of motion. One of the first times this really caught my eye and partially inspired me to want to make this video years ago was this. For one, the top-down perspective is great within itself, very attention-grabbing, but it's that feeling of motion as you come down to the bottom panel which is excellent. Chef's kiss. The path of attention may differ a little between these three panels. It could be this or this. Either way, the directional energy this time is circular. Now, since Leorio's leg is literally out of the panel, it quickly grabs you, but the pose and character placement naturally bring you around, as I said, in this circular motion. It's also the lines themselves that aid in that sense of rhythm. If all the hatching a line went in a straight angle, it would very much destroy any sense of it. This hit just feels powerful, not through detail, although that is there, but mostly composition. Now, I will say I haven't found any interviews or notes with Tagashi describing this aspect of his work, but its consistency shows that it's by no means a once-off and is very much intentional. The final element though, the piece of the puzzle that helps this to all work and that both do exceptionally well, is visual balance. A lot of manga can get noisy, there's an overload of information, and Inoue himself notes that if readers are confused, it can ruin the reading experience. And I definitely remember myself going through Naruto at times. I felt like I was playing Where's Waldo, trying to figure out where the characters were and simply what action had taken place. But again, both Toriyama and Tagashi's work is consistently clear, which is also helped by their use of positive and negative space. Not only is it another guide to drawing your attention to the focal point, but it also gives you literal space for your eyes to rest. I think that's also assisted in part to their backgrounds not featuring an abundance of details, and again not chucking screen tone everywhere, but even still it's strong composition at the end of the day. Back in 2008 and again in 2009, Toriyama teamed up with a mangaka who stylistically is pretty different and very much favors detail, and that being the incredible Masakazu Katsura. Even though Katsura notes that he approached that collaboration with art that fits Toriyama's work, it's still noticeably more detailed than anything Toriyama would ever draw. Even still, the way Toriyama arranges panels on the page, the number of panels where characters are placed, you still have that trademark clarity and rhythm to the work, again showing to us that composition is key. These are definitely two series, and I'm not referring to Sachi-chan Good or Jaya, although those are definitely good, that get it right, and is a severely underrated aspect of manga that definitely deserves its fair share of attention. And also on that note, you should definitely check both series out if you haven't. Of course, these aren't the only two series out there that have excellent composition, but rather two of the best I think among shonen, and that really stood out to me personally. Of course, I haven't read every single manga created, so if you have a series that you're like, hey, that ticks all the boxes of what he mentioned, well, please leave a comment below. And with that, thank you for watching. I really enjoyed making it, and I hope it was fun for you. Doing several big videos in a row does take a bit out of you, so it was great to sit back and discuss a much simpler topic, and manga for a change. Definitely been a while since we've done that. But again, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.